Hello there, Starscream back for a Transformer review, and this one is of an old character, well, one of many old characters, and one of many incarnations. And it's Powermaster Optimus Prime, who we've got here, and God, Jinrai, or with Super God Bomber, or whatever the heck his name is, the Japanese alternative. But I wanted to do a comparison between the two of them, the US, UK, and the Japanese one, who has God Bomber, like I said, with him. It's a great toy. But I thought I'd just discuss the G1 character first, not the Japanese variant. Now, apparently, that's annoying. Well, I suppose it'll stop me from saying that word, won't it? Okay, now, let's take a look at this toy. I didn't say anything. Why did that happen? Right, now, you, me, down, up, irritating. Right, that's it. This means war. I can't continue this review till I've dealt with this. So, one moment, please. Oh!
What's the problem, son?
Yes, I survived after the crash. You know my dreams. You couldn't haunt them. And when you tried, I only laughed. Yes, I am tortured, but I'm happy when you push me to the edge. And I can't take it when you fake it. Trying to make it easy on my head.
You? Beg your pardon? Right, not taking any of that. And just to be on the safe side. And you know what? Back to the review now, I think. Good job done. And nicely dealt with by me, I should say. Anybody agree? No? Oh, well, tough. Anyway, let's get back to the Transform review, because that's what we're here for, isn't it? Now, Powermaster Optimus Prime, the generation variation I'm talking about. As you know, they all need their little counterpart here, and Optimus Prime's was High Q. Now, the thing is, you know why they need them. They need them to filter out the power source, otherwise the raw nature of it destroys them. It's like poison to them. These little guys filter it so that it allows the Autobots to carry on functioning. Now, when Optimus Prime comes back to life, he doesn't actually understand any of what's going on because he's been dead for ages as a disembodied memory and brain in a computer. Anyway, so that aside, he takes it on board. We need Power Masters now to function, and blah blah blah, he carries on. Now, here's the interesting thing now. Optimus Prime dies destroying Unicron. Now, High Q here gets very distraught about this because once their Power Master counterpart, i.e. Optimus Prime being High Q's or High Q being his opposite dies, the other one can't function mentally. So it makes IQ here very upset. It's sort of like a symbiotic relationship. They need each other to function. Now, with Prime gone, this guy gets a bit upset and runs around. And then all of a sudden he starts saying that he's Optimus Prime. You know, kind of like the Star Trek Vulcan mind transfer that happens in Star Trek 2 at the end and, you know, carries on in Star Trek 3. So he's running around saying that he's Optimus Prime. And everybody's going, yeah, of course you are, mate. Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, and I'm Primus. So, yeah, nobody believes him, and eventually he starts to go completely and utterly doolally. And eventually they get Prime back, and the new Prime is built round the nexus of him. The new Prime's constructed round him, so he becomes the core of the new Prime, and that is interesting. So, a little bit of the synopsis of the character which was involved in the comics. Not really gone into in the show, and I'm not going down the Japanese route. Now, let's take a look at the toys, shall we? Now, this is the UK-US release. Bit crappy. Now, my one is missing his smokestacks, so they're a little bit taller. You know, before kids started going blind, poking themselves eyes out. And the quality of it is utterly abhorrent. Now, look. If you give him his handgun... Okay, look. That's it. So, the only way that he can shoot anybody is if he does that. He's not really about to see what he's looking at, is he? Not unless he's got eyes in his groin, and I sincerely doubt he has. So there's point one of it being bad. Now, the Japanese one doesn't really improve on that. He still has that same limitation where he can go... He can't really do a lot of his arms, and his legs do even less, and he can't rotate his head, so he's just stuck looking forwards. But the quality of this toy is superb. Now, let's look at these next to each other. At a glance, they don't look too different, but... I am not sure if my one's missing the stickers there, but I don't think he ever had any to lose because there's no marking there. So there, look. So he has stickers here. I'm not sure if the one did, but I doubt he does. This one, if I feel, is metal. The back plate here is metal. The back plate of this guy is crappy plastic. And that's all skipped off, but in all fairness, it's a bit of cheap plastic anyway. This guy's got the proper chrome job going on here. Plus, a transparent windows versus painted on shitty windows. So, horrible toy. Even the smokestacks on the Japanese one are chromed. Now, that's sweet, that really is. And the head, if you notice, he's got blue eyes like Prime should have, as opposed to demon evil Dracula red eyes like the UK one has. Don't ask me what's going on with that. There is no reason for it, is there? Hey? Hey? Right, let's get on to the counterparts of these guys, shall we? Because without their trailers, they're nothing. Again. Now, a quick thing of note, everybody, I only have a few minutes left of this review, and I don't want this being two parts, so we're not going to dwell on the Japanese one. I'm going to do a separate review next for him. I'm just going to dwell on the two figures now to point out the variations. Literally, you can see them straight away, can't you? Horrible grey versus chrome. And the sides of this guy, if you notice the panel work at the side here, along, I don't know if the light's picking this up. This is actually a slightly glossy grey, almost chromy. It's got a bit of quality and feel to it. Look, let's have a look. It's obviously had some workmanship put into it. This guy, on the other hand, here is just your bog standard, looks like model kit grey. It's horrible. Now, there's a big difference, which I always wondered how they would do this, and I think this should have been implemented on the original, but wasn't. Look at his hands, look. They're stuck. So when he's in truck mode, you see his fists all the time. So when he's driving around as a truck, he's going like that. That looks odd. That's not a disguise, is it? That's rubbish. This guy, on the other hand, they've dealt with the problem, which I thought they should have done in the first place. Watch this, look. Look, it's so simple, look. Wow! Why didn't they do that in the first place? Look, I can put it back again, look. Watch this. Yes! Why didn't they do that? Is it so complicated? Apparently it is. So, that pretty much sums up the variation between the two toys. This one is so much better, and this one is so much not good. Is that an English word, not good? I could say not gooder, couldn't I? Now I sound really intelligent. So, that pretty much sums up the two toys as regards comparison. But then we've got God Bomber. So he's going to be part of my next review. It's not a two-part. They'll stand alone as individual reviews for the basis that I don't want it being two parts. So that's a little insight to this guy. Hope you've enjoyed the review, and look forward to seeing Good Bomber. Who the hell's Good Bomber? Whatever the hell his name is, my mind's gone. Look forward to God Bomber. Thank you. Look forward to seeing him, not Good Bomber. And take care, guys. See you lot out there, and bear with me.